Have you ever felt like you were created for more? Like there was a bigger purpose waiting for you to step into? Welcome to A Dose of Belief, the podcast that fuels your faith, sharpens your mindset, and equips you to boldly live in your purpose. Each week, I'll bring powerful insights, set up dynamic interviews with high achievers, entrepreneurs, and leaders who turn belief into breakthrough. This isn't just motivation, it's your weekly reminder that you were made to make a difference. I'm your host, Christian Martinez, and you are listening to A Dose of Belief. Welcome back to A Dose of Belief. I'm super excited about today's episode. Today's episode is titled Your Most Valuable Asset. You are your most valuable asset. This is something that I've had to grow to understand, to get better at appreciating and actually understanding what it meant. I had to take the time to just really understand that I was my most valuable asset, the way that I show up, the way that I do things. And so today, what I wanted to do in this podcast is I wanted to encourage you to check out the clips that we have today. So I have a lot of fun because now I feel like I get paid to watch movies. I get paid to watch shows and just go through and watch some of the movies that have made an impact and why it made an impact and why I was encouraged about that specific movie. This week's featured movie is The Greatest Showman. And the first clip that I want to show you is identifying your strengths and your passion. You have to have an unshakable focus when it comes to what you're called to do. You have to have an identity and confidence. And I will tell you that when you're confident in yourself, you show up completely different from everybody else. So let's go to this first clip where the bearded lady goes in and she gets excited. She's talking about, this is me. She's fired up. She's pumped up. They walk through the circus with confidence because initially they were having some self-doubt. So prior to this clip, she was struggling with kind of like, okay, am I good enough? And look at how people watch me. Look at how they gasp. Look at how they awe. And to me, I want you to really understand that it doesn't matter what people think it should look like. What matters is what you want it to look like. You have to own your identity. You have to step into who you really are called to be. Your self-worth is part of your visual expression. So depending on how you want to show up, just make sure it's an authentic you. Your strength and your identity lines up with your passion. And you got to remember that you're your most valuable asset. When you know who you are, you stop waiting for permission to show up. And that's something that I had to learn. I had to learn to stop waiting for others so that I can show up, to stop waiting for permission from somebody else for me to be who I was called to be. The next thing that I want to talk to you about is setting aside time for self-improvement. Oftentimes we think that we're going to just show up and we're just going to be great. And I will tell you that 9 times out of 10, that will not work. That's you relying on talent. And I will tell you that so many people in this world rely on talent or rely on a past success or experience to take them to where they want to go. Listen, if you want to get to the next level, you cannot rely on what happened yesterday. One of my mentors, John Maxwell, puts it like this: yesterday ended last night. So that win that you got yesterday, you cannot rely on that to push you through the successes of today, to carry you on with the momentum of today, to win the game of today. So the next thing that I want to talk to you about is that setting aside that time for improvement by watching this clip from Whiplash. Now, this guy is a phenomenal player. Andrew is a phenomenal player, but he realized that he had to practice and practice hard. And so what he did is he was like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to practice when nobody's watching. I'm going to sweat. I'm going to bleed. I'm going to fight because this is something that he really wanted. And I will tell you, sometimes it's going to take that level of effort to get to where you want to get to. You have to train before you get recognized. Oftentimes people want to be the number one on their team. They want to be the number one on stage. They want to be the number one at this. But what practice are you putting in? What are you doing today to build yourself to the level that you can be called number one? How can you show up as number one? You have to practice in private before the success in public is evident. Invest in like nobody else is watching, and do it every day, over and over and over and over again. Did I say over again? Over again. Nobody sees the investment, but everybody will see the result. Let me repeat that. Nobody will see your investment, and that's okay. But they will see the results if you put in the work. Today's episode is brought to you by Leadership Legacy, our impact partner sponsor. Leadership Legacy exists to help organizations grow from the inside through leadership training, customer service development, and culture transformation. Their approach is interactive, immersive, and values-driven, creating experiences that don't just inspire, but actually stick. If you're serious about excellence and bringing the best out of your people, Leadership Legacy is a trusted partner. They equip leaders, empower teams, and enrich cultures. To find out more, you can check out the show notes or go to www.christianrmartinez.com/culture and get to know a little bit more about their business. Now, let's get back to the show. Now, let's talk about step 3 to building and understanding that you are your most valuable asset. You want to build a good support system. And no movie other than this depicts this really well. And that comes from Coach Carter. Now, this clip in particular, I sped it up a little bit. So it's at 1.5 speed. So you're going to watch it. You're going to hear some stuff. But really what I want you to think about is, so in this clip, the young man is trying out for the team and he needs to do certain things. And he basically falls short. So Coach Carter tells him, man, I'm impressed with what you did, but you fell short. He told him that he needed to do 500 push-ups and like 50 suicides. Whatever it is, whatever the math is, doesn't matter. But what does matter is what happens when the people around him believe in him and they start to support him. So they get behind him. The team starts doing push-ups. They're like, you know what? If one of us fails, we all fail. If one of us wins, we all win. Nobody likes to do things alone, but I will tell you a support system will help you do that. Accountability multiplies as you grow. Iron sharpens iron. Now, listen, you don't need cheerleaders, but you do need people that will challenge you to get to that next level. I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of people that I've seen around me. There's a lot of people out in this world that want great success, but they don't want to put in the great work. They don't want to put in the hours. Listen, sometimes you're going to have to stay up till 4 a.m. You're going to have to put in the work. It doesn't have to be an all the time thing, but it needs to be a when it's needed thing. And so I need you to tell yourself and ask yourself, when is this going to happen? The last clip that I was going to show you guys, I really couldn't find a movie that could capture this or a show that could capture this. But the point that I want to talk about when I talk about you are your most valuable asset to close out today's session is you have to create a personal development plan. Now, there are some movies that came to mind like A Beautiful Mind and The Intern. And The Intern was really funny. What Jules was doing is she knew that she could build the company. So she built this company. And then she was told that the company was growing so fast that she couldn't sustain it. So she needed to hire a CEO. And initially she struggled with that because she was like, I don't want a boss. And what she was really saying is that nobody is going to build the culture, love our clients the way that I do. But she's still given an opportunity. So she went through this process of going and finding a CEO. She finally finds a CEO. And what ended up happening is he said all the right things, did all the right things. And then Ben, the guy that was working with her as her intern, said, listen, to be honest with you, nobody's going to do what you do. When you saw a package come to your house and it was not done right, you went to the warehouse. You took the time with the staff to show them exactly how stuff should be folded. Nobody's going to do that. So you need to have a vision and you need to have a strategy, but you need to think before you act. Don't give up before the time is right. Don't give up too soon. Listen, when you start to build a business, if you start building fast, there's two things that people worry about. The business failing and the business growing extremely fast. If the business starts to grow fast, just take a step back. Surround yourself with a good support system. Set aside time for self-improvement and identify your strengths and your passion, and then hire out your weaknesses. But I will tell you the best way for you to remember and capitalize on understanding that you are your most valuable asset is to develop a personal development plan, to create and develop a personal development plan, right? So that you can think before you act. Your growth can be intentional because you have a plan. Now, a vision without a plan is just a wish. And I don't want that for you. I don't want you wishing. I don't want you hoping. I want you to have a strategy. And in order for you to do that, you need to walk in your purpose, right? And so today we talked about identity. We talked about discipline. We talked about support, and we talked about planning. Thank you for being the best part of this community. As we wrap up, if today's episode sparked a dose of belief in you, don't let it stop there. Belief grows when it's shared and lived out. You can tune in weekly for conversations that strengthen your mindset, sharpen your leadership, and encourage you to keep moving forward. And if this episode encouraged you, consider sharing it with someone who could use a reminder to believe again. If you'd like to go a step further, you can also become an impact sponsor, helping us continue this work beyond the podcast. Through your support, we help feed the homeless, partner with schools to provide leadership training, and create opportunities that truly make an impact. And if you're ready to deepen your own belief, consider grabbing a copy of Unstoppable Belief, available at unstoppablebelief.com or on Amazon. Thank you for being a part of this community. Until next time, keep believing, keep growing, and keep moving forward.